Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I am your host, Travis Montgomery, with a new mic on deck, and we will get some Periscope type stuff going in the future so that anybody that wants to view us on Periscope, we might actually run the whole thing through Periscope because Periscope seems to be the wave of the future when it comes to social media and broadcasting. I'm a big fan of it. Sometimes girls get on there and take their clothes off and stuff, but then they get banned. And you don't want that. But if you catch them on the times that it's pretty, and the thing about Periscope is that so you're watching a live video and you can type to them so they can see what you're writing, and so it kind of helps with the broadcast anyways. Like if we were talking about something and somebody had a question or why do you think that, then we can answer them and maybe make some stuff a little more clear. But anyways, moving back on, we got Darren Reed enjoying a nice plate of food, par for the course.
Reed.
That is tremendous. What you got going over there, Darren?
You got me confused with Reed. I'm Holiday.
Oh shit!
I know you got both of us on your feed, and you just drew a brain fart right there, but it's all good.
Darren Reed, you know what? He needs to come on here and talk some shit sometime. Sure, he would.
Good at that.
Yep, that's my boy.
He probably would.
Yes. What's going on with you in this week of Christmas here?
Not much. There's a whole lot of being merry.
There you go.
Nah, no real big plans. Got brother and sister-in-law and all that stuff coming over on the weekend. I got all my shopping done in New York, so I'm in
New York.
no hurry.
I want to get caught up because last week we had Kurt Haskell on, and it was super political, and I want to have him back on because I didn't know that he was a whistleblower. If anybody wants to go back and listen to episode 34, we had a real life whistleblower on our hands. I'd like to have him back on and ask him some questions and get to the bottom of some shit because I didn't know. And he seems to have a particular angle for covering news stories on his own, and that's his niche. Now, let's welcome back to the program Chad Young. How are you doing out there in KC? What's that KC weather looking like today?
It's finally starting to warm up a little bit. I think we got to 35 today, 40. It had been pretty chilly the last week or so, down in the negative. I think it was -10 middle of last week.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you guys got ripped with that cold front coming in from Canada.
we got hit with that. So that was we don't usually get that cold, so it was cold for us.
Well, right on. Yeah, in Chicago tomorrow, it's supposed to be like -16. It's like, have you been outside in weather that's a minus? I mean, can you describe it to us? Because I've never been in any shit like that before.
You'd be surprised if it's not windy. I mean, it's not bad. It's when the wind hits in that where it gets you. So
if you're dressed for it.
Well, yeah, you got to be dressed for it too. I'll usually wear shorts until it's about, like right now, I'll start wearing pants when it gets to 30, 35. But other than that, I'll still wear shorts and a sweatshirt. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I lived right next door in Iowa for about 3 years, and that negative stuff sucks.
Yeah, it can get. I mean, I'm not outside a lot when that happens, so it's not a huge deal. But the guys who got to work out there, it's got to be pretty shitty. That's for sure.
Yeah. The wind is a big issue. I was working in Tehachapi, which is up in the mountains over here, last year, and it was like 25 or something. It was snow out, but the wind was just a steady 20 miles an hour, and it was. I was like, I don't know how people do this. I was walking into the outhouse, and the wind was even bleeding through into the outhouse. I was like, God, and the seat was so cold. You put the damn toilet seat cover down, and it's still like, I don't know how people do it.
The biggest problem here is it's so flat that there's nothing to block the wind at all. So when it's windy, it is windy as shit. And I mean, we'll have 40, 50 mile an hour winds. Like every day. It's not I mean, it never really slows down. We usually have pretty good winds.
Oh, all right, getting these social media posts out of the way. So
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me chewing and smacking?
No, I can hear the
Okay.
plate, but that's fine. That's
Cool.
no big deal.
I just want to make sure I wasn't being rude. You know,
Oh my God,
I
that
hate
is
it
my
when people
pet
do
peeve.
that, dude.
That's my fucking pet peeve.
No.
Growing up, my brother, sitting around the table, going before you go to school, you pour yourself a bowl of cereal and you sit down, and he's just
Yeah, I know.
just like sucking up all the milk and all the sugary flavors going through his mouth. You can just hear him eating. It's just Ever since then, and my daughter had a problem smacking when I came into the picture. Took about 3 or 4 years, but we straightened that thing out.
Yeah, I might have when I was little, but I used to get cracked upside the head.
Yeah, so did I. Chew with your mouth closed. Bam. You know, if you forget, then you're getting side slapped a little bit. So Darren, you're just trying to upload some pictures of New York.
Yeah.
How was the flight over there, and how was the weather while you were there? Tell us a little bit about New York. Why don't you?
Wasn't too bad. I beat that cold front that he was talking about because they got hit with it too, but it wasn't quite that cold. But when I was there, I think the lowest I saw it at night and late at night when I was running around at like 2, 3 in the morning, it was I think it got down to like 28 at night, and it was like 35 during the day, so it wasn't too bad. My girlfriend was, or fiance, or whatever, wife, whatever you want to call her nowadays. She has never really been in weather like that. I mean, she has, but she's been in and out. But me, you know, like I said, I used to live in Iowa. You know, I do all that off-road stuff, so I'm out camping and that stuff all the time. So I'm a little bit more geared for it, dressed-wise, and it didn't bother me as much as it did her. But it was a good time. We went down and saw the what was that Macy's or no, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, ice skating rink, the
Times
whole Home
Square?
Alone thing. Yeah, I went down to
Is
Times
that like
Square.
a natural? Is that a natural ice skating rink, or
No,
did they build it?
No, it's all built there. They only put it.
So was this trip like just a vacation, or was there like some goals that you guys wanted to get done while you were there, or you were just like, we're gonna fly by the seat of our pants?
It was Zamora's company's 25th year anniversary, and their main corporate office is in New York. So they flew staff and spouses out, and
Gotta have
paid
that
for
plus one.
Yeah, and paid for room and board. So yeah, so we did all. I was like, I can't pass that up, man. You know, New York. I don't like the politics over there, but it's full of Revolutionary War history, man, and some old churches. We were in some churches from like 1690s, and really cool stuff to see. World Trade Memorial, all that good stuff. And you know,
went and saw the World Trade Memorial?
Oh yeah, I just posted up a ton of pictures on that, dude. I don't care who you are. Well, if you're anything, if you're not a liberal, which means, you know, you're kind of pro-American. If you're not a liberal, you walk through that place, dude. And you got tears, like your eyes are watering up, dude. It's bad, man.
Well,
like, I mean, it's
for some
awesome,
liberals,
but
I mean,
it just makes you. Nah, they don't give a shit, dude. They're happy that somebody got torn down, and those guys. Yeah, they're on a mission. Anyway,
well, that's putting them in a pretty small box, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be. It's got to be tremendous. I mean, the amount of emotion going on there. I remember looking because my brother was trying to be a firefighter, got pretty damn far, ended up falling just short. But he had while he was going through the training, somebody had gifted him a book on 9/11, and I remember just sitting in his apartment one day going through it, and just I mean, it was super emotional. It's that kind of stuff right there.
Yeah,
Who?
I bought a pretty big book out of that museum they had there, and two of them actually. I'm giving one to my brother for Christmas, but
Well, it was a picture book. Yeah, I have a hard time reading words on a page in a book, and I respect the craft for people that can do it. A lot of the smart people do. Um. Anyways, Chad, how are you feeling? You got some Christmas shopping done tonight? Is
Yeah,
that what was going
yeah.
on?
To finish up tonight, we're heading out first thing in the morning. We're going to Wyoming for Christmas, so that'll be a fun drive.
All right, so now you're going to Wyoming. You went to high school in Cyprus. What the hell is going on here? Because I remember
My,
you.
yeah,
So what happened when we graduated same class, right? 2002.
well, I'm '03.
You're '03? Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought you were the same age.
Well, I think
damn,
we
you're
had
old as fuck.
what?
Making me feel old as fuck.
Yeah, no,
What was you? What, when did you graduate, Darren? What
I'm not
year?
that old. I'm not that old. 2000.
2000.
well, it's weird. We're the only ones that could use our hands for the year we graduated back. Now it's all fucked up again because they're in the teens.
0-0.
What is it? '03.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So we, I think the first time I met you, I played on your dad's team. We played pony or something, didn't we?
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
That's when I was like the fucking shit, and I was better than everybody at it. That was back when
I
I was
don't know.
still
There
good
was
as
some
fuck.
pretty. You know what?
We
That
had a good team
our
that
group
year, I
of
think.
in Cyprus had a pretty good group of talent. I think two or three of them went on to play in the majors.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I know that's the only time I think we were actually together in high school. Yeah, I was a year behind you, but yeah, so I graduated in '03. I had a real bad attitude. Didn't have a great relationship with the basketball coach at Cyprus, Russell, and
Well, he was a
so
dick, anyways, right?
yeah, give or take. He's cool now, but back then, yeah, we didn't. He was. I think he was a little hard up back then. So
Was he a younger dude that had glasses and like black hair?
yeah, short guy.
Yeah, he was a dick for sure. He was always trying to do other stuff. Like, you're the basketball coach, all right? Stay in your lane. Don't try and
Yeah,
come over here at lunchtime and mess with us when we're trying to do our thing. Just
yeah.
stay over there, you basketball coach.
So I didn't even play
Nazi.
my senior year uh, there at Cyprus because of it. So when I graduated, I had a hard time, getting any schools to look at me or whatever. So I came out to Kansas City because my grandparents lived in central Kansas and my aunt was living in Kansas City at the time, and I just came to visit. And the local junior college had like a walk-on tryout, so I walked on and made the team here. And so I ended up
Oh.
just staying for a couple of years, playing basketball here, and then went to school a little bit, and then came back to California. Got
But hold on,
married.
you're not very tall, are you?
About 6'2". I'm not super big.
6'2".
Yeah.
So you're kind of a skill player then. Should be 6'2".
Yeah, I played
Walking
point
out of
guard.
college.
Yeah, I mean it was junior college. It's not anything too great. Schools here aren't as good as they are out there, but so when I came back, got married, and all that stuff, started having kids, and
How'd you meet your wife?
well, Megan went to high school. You know Megan Diefendorfer. Do you remember her?
The name sounds familiar because you can't forget a name like that, but I don't really remember her.
I think Daniel was a year older than you, and then she was same grade as me, so they're on the
Yeah.
opposite sides of you. But so we hooked back up when I got back out to California, and we started having kids and shit, and you know how that goes. And everything was so expensive. We were going to move to Colorado just for work. I could transfer, and I said, you know what? I lived in Kansas City. It was pretty cool there. You want to go try it out? She went and we came and visited, and she's like, hell yeah, let's move here. So found a job out here, and that was about, I don't know, 7 years or so ago. Been here ever since.
What's cool about Kansas City? If you don't mind me asking.
It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, what's funny is everybody comes here. All my buddies that have come to visit are friends. And it's pretty much, I would say it's more like South County because it's a little bit more spread out, but you got everything you have out there. You know, it's a little bit more laid back. I liked it because of that. I mean, you know, I'm not super aggressive when it comes to work. I do sales and stuff like that. So it's, for me, it was a lot easier. Ended up doing pretty well and moved up pretty quick out here. So I liked it a lot better just because of how cheap it is.
What are you doing for work exactly?
I'm a commercial lender for a bank.
For businesses that want to start a company or something, or trying to.
Well, no, I do it for, I think they call it small to medium sized companies. So you have to do 5 to 10 million in revenue probably for the most part.
Oh, well,
So,
right on.
yeah.
Happy to have you.
But yeah, I've been out
I
here
was
ever
just
since.
wondering how the hell did he end up in Kansas City? I heard that they have great barbecue out there.
Barbecue's great. I like it because we do a lot of traveling, so we can drive just about anywhere. I mean, we've driven to Memphis a couple times. We drove to Nashville, St. Louis, Chicago, Denver, whatever. Her brother lives in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That's why we're going out there.
Huh.
So, yeah, we just kind of, I mean, the nice part is we can go wherever we want. My job, I can work from pretty much wherever. So, we kind of just do whatever we want to do, which is cool.
Well, right on, brother. Anything in the news that has caught your attention since we last spoke last week? Anything that's caught your eye or caught something that you might want to talk about? I mean, I got some stuff to talk about, but
I mean, to be quite honest, I haven't paid a ton of attention. Obviously, the Monday was a little bit. I thought a lot more was going to happen on Monday with the whole delegate vote, but nothing really happened. So that was, kind of anticlimactic.
and here's where Darren jumps in. That was a bunch of crap, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
Ron
Let the
Paul got
results
one.
speak for itself.
I mean, what could have really? I mean, worst case scenario, what the hell could have really happened?
Nothing.
Well, I think what they were going for was it would have been worse. I think you would have got Mike Pence as your president if everything would have gone as planned. So, I don't know.
Dude.
I think that's.
What's so bad about Mike Pence?
Oh.
That's
He
not how
looks
it
like a
works.
stand-up guy to me.
Hold on.
I mean, actually, from what I've read on him, he doesn't seem like a bad.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. That's kind of not how it works. Their goal was to get Trump down below 270, and basically, in a nutshell, that wasn't going to happen. It's a psychological deal where the liberals are trying to. I keep using the word liberals. The Democrat Party. Liberals are their full left-wing freakazoids, and Democrats are just kind of confused, and yay, they've just been putting a D by their check name all their life, and they don't know any better. But what they're trying to do is delegitimize Trump's presidency. Is what they're doing. They're trying to shoot he's illegitimate. They're the electoral college. Blah 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 blah. It creates doubt in the people. So later on, when he screws up and they go to impeach him, they can use that blah 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 because they're going to try to impeach him. It is what it is. That's what they are. That's who they're trying to play this. Oh yeah, we're going to get along. No, that's not what they are. These are nasty people. We're talking Obama. We're talking Hillary. I mean, Harry Reid's gone. You're talking Chuck Schumer, Pelosi. These guys are going to try and go after Trump and get rid of him. That is their job. That is what they do. They're up there playing nice on the surface, but they're going to try and sabotage him. But anyway, they're using that as a mind tool for later on when they have a chance to do something in the impeachment process, if that comes up. But ultimately, the whole goal, if Trump does not come to 270, it goes to the House and the Senate. The Senate picks the vice president. The Congress picks the president. So what you get is you got a majority in both houses for the Republicans, which is us. So either way, it would have just prolonged it, and the Senate would have voted for Pence for VP. Congress would have voted for Trump for president, and we still would have had the same result. But it was just all big old freaking show game on, you know how these people are, man. It's all show. 20 people aren't going to do it. Yeah, they were wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, and they needed like 38 too. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous amount. And I think the only ones that actually could be the non-faithful voters, there was only like 50. So that means they had only a 12-person, swing to where they could actually get it done. So it was pretty. Now, the article I read on it was that they were even trying to go as far as getting the, the Congress and the, all that stuff to also go to a stalemate, which then falls you straight to the VP, to where if there's a stalemate altogether, then the VP becomes the president. So it's they were trying to get it. I mean, that was kind of the alt left. So they have the alt right. The alt left was basically going for that's what their whole plan was. Which I said, if you're really worried about women's rights and all this kind of shit, I go, Pence is going to be way worse than what Trump's going to be. So it's just a matter of how you look at it. They just don't like Trump just because of who he is.
They don't like Trump because he literally smacked all of them across the face.
He just fucked their whole room up. That's what he did.
They didn't see him coming.
Like, fuck you. You're fat.
And he's
you're
up there.
Ugly. And then he, double fisted, and then he won.
Yeah.
What he did, I mean,
any one of us could have been elected next to Hillary Clinton. After you really sit back and think about it, and American people aren't stupid. We didn't want a fucking crook as our president, a well-known, established crook. Okay, we didn't want that as our fucking president. Sorry.
Right.
First woman or not.
Yeah, true. But when you think about it, what Trump did is basically show the Republicans how to win again. Because let's be honest here. I mean, I'm a conservative. The Republicans the last 8 years have been weak. They haven't stood their ground. They've given up the power of the purse. They've done this. They've folded on everything. And what Trump was, and what he did was basically just say, he just went up there and was honest and fought back. These other guys fold over. They get pressure. Oh, like they did to Romney. Oh, his tax returns. Or, oh, what was that other one? Oh, the people, he wanted somebody to die of cancer. And he had women in binders, and they just went at him and went at him and he buckled. He gave in. Trump, the whole way, didn't buckle at all. He just come right back at him and kept coming and kept coming and kept coming and preached his policy, and it won. Well, I'm not a fan of Trump.
Especially in the beginning, when he was saying, someone's doing the raping and just things of that nature, where it's like you can't. It's almost like you shouldn't be able to get away with that kind of stuff, and even in the primaries, and he did, and he ended up like blowing those guys out of the water. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Because he didn't give up.
But what did he really say? I mean, how much of it was twisted, and what was it? He said a lot of the guys that come over are going to be criminals. They're going to be rapists. They're going to be robbing. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. Hey, my stepdad's from Mexico, right? His fucking family is the dirtiest, sleaziest people I've ever met in my life. No joke. He was the biggest Trump supporter I've ever seen. Little Mexican guy, moved here when he was like 25 years old. And he's like, yeah, he basically is the one that got me to be like, yeah, I guess, it can be that bad. But he generalized, yes, a little bit. But at the end of the day, he never said all Mexicans. He never said all whatever. He just said, we get a lot of that. We need to try to, fix that, fix this, whatever it is. So I don't know. Right. It's it was, and then the media is going to blow it out of proportion. Just like, hey, let's stop letting Muslims in until we figure out a way to actually, vet them so that we know that they're not terrorists. Are we going to stop all Muslims? No, we're not going to stop Americans from coming back. We're stopping non-Americans that come from a terrorist area and make sure that they're not terrorists.
Just want to know who's coming in our house for dinner, man. That is it.
I mean, so I don't know. It's a matter of everybody's going to jump to conclusions. If you say anything, if you say a specific race or creed or whatever it is, they're going to get all bitchy, and that's what was happening.
And to talk about your point, not to damn, did I come off loud to you guys?
No, you sound fine.
I sound fine. Let me turn my headphones down. and a lot of people, and not to bash your position, but a lot of people think that when they have a personal experience that makes their political view a little more relevant, as in your case, to your stepdad's the dirtiest Mexican family or whatever you said. But that's not the case a lot of the time, and you see that happen a lot with especially like racial type of politics, where my cousin was beaten by the cops and he didn't do anything, and all cops are racist. It brings a more emotional part to your story for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a more true because that it happened to you. But to go back to someone's doing the raping, okay, that's a harsh way to put it. If you are, some people, yes, they are just looking for a better way of life, and I don't know how to draw a percentage on it. I've done it before in this show, and it probably shot myself in the foot. And
It's a lot of people that come here. I mean, I would say the majority of people who come here just to have a good life.
yeah, but then even that, because that the cartels running shit back and forth all day, every day. They're running drugs, they're running guns, and when they cross through these border towns, they fucking annihilate them. And there's a lot of Native American reservations that lie like in Arizona. I think, yeah, that's a border state. Just forgive me. Some of those border states are native reservations, and because they don't have an actual like police force to fucking help them out, because they're governed on their own merit or whatever. They are the ones that really get fucked. And it's documented. There's stories. Anyways, where I'm going with this?
Culture.
Where am I going with this? They're not all good people. They're not all just people looking for a better life. And if I was say I was a terrorist who wanted to infiltrate the American land, where else would you do? You can't come through Canada, because that shit's sewn up. Yeah. You can't even get into Canada. So what better way to do it is through a refugee program, which also scares the hell out of me.
They put in a law: anybody claiming asylum can come into this country temporarily until they get stuff figured out. And that includes people from Mexico. And they're using that loophole. And everybody that gets caught is they're being coached to say these things, because that's our law and we can't do a damn thing about it. They know it. They're using the holes, and they're taking advantage of it. They're criminals. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They know it's against the law, and those are the kind of people that are coming in and causing trouble. Like I don't know. Like you said, your stepdad. Now, did he come here legally?
He did. He came. Well, he came here to visit, and he came here legally. And when he got here, he got a job. And he was only supposed to be here for a year. Well, he married my mom before the year was up. So that was back when Reagan was president. So he automatically became a resident.
Went through all that. And that's kind of the same thing. Same deal. But these are people that came through, had their visas, did the paperwork, showed up for their meeting every year or every 2 years to show they're still here, they're working, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, following the law, because they legitimately wanted to be citizens and do good. They wanted to assimilate to the culture versus bringing the culture in here and expecting us to assimilate to them. They were bringing their culture and assimilating to ours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole different ballgame when you have, the people that come here that you said your stepdad there, he was a Trump supporter. And that's kind of like on the other side of the fence with my fiance's family is these people were legal and they worked hard and they went through and they did their visas and they did that stuff. They get it. They don't want anybody cutting in front of them.
Yeah.
What makes them special? It's common
I don't want to cut you off, Darren. But when you get Chad, when you get a chance, why do you think he is a Trump supporter? But I just wanted to throw that in there before I forget about it. And I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Well, his main reasons are, one, because people come here illegally, and he's seen how the coyotes work. He knows kind of the whole system, and then how they milk the system. As far as what he's seen with his family and friends and all that kind of stuff. But on top of that, I think at the end of the day, he likes him. He's been a small business owner for the last 20 years. So tax policies, talking about how he's going to help people create jobs and stuff like that. For him, it was all about the economic side, along with agreeing with his immigration policies and you know everything. I think when you start to agree with somebody and you're pumped like that, and I think it's only like his third election. I mean, I think his first election was Obama, which he was bummed about, and then obviously last election was Obama. So this was the first time he got really into it, and supporting on the opposite side what the popular vote was. So he got really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and that's so, and that's kind of like, excuse me for stuttering so much, Donald Trump's not main platform, but I would say a good chunk of what he was running on was jobs, jobs, jobs. We need more jobs. We're going to create jobs. And from an illegal immigrant standpoint, I would be like, if I made it here and I'm in the motherland and I got a job now, and then I see more people trying to come in and get the job that I have, maybe trying to undercut me now. So you're working for 12, and this dude's going to come in for 10, or I may lose my job, and then we have another million people come in, and I don't get the next job because somebody else can. I mean, it's a number. I say it all the time. It's a situation of numbers. It's a game of numbers. There's only so much jobs. There's only so much food. And some of the brilliant thinkers of today's age look at our deserts and all of the free space and think that somehow we can create food and home for all of those people. And I guess they have ideas for it. I don't see it happening. The water shortage. It's like, and to just branch off into some other crazy territory. Like, when are we gonna figure out how to make ocean water into regular drinking water? Because that right there, or harness the power of waves for electricity, which, with the Edison company and PG&E and crazy companies like that, they don't want that to happen. They like their monopoly that they have on our energy. Look what Anaheim did. Anaheim was a smart move. They got their own thing going on. I don't know. You guys probably know about that. They have their own energy company in Anaheim.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're totally
private.
off the grid. Yeah.
It's private.
So I don't know how I just bird walked into that territory. But the jobs are going to be taken, and a lot of people would say that since I was born 90 miles on this side of a line, that I'm more entitled to jobs that were people that were born just 91 miles in the other direction. And I mean, does that seem fair? That's the kind of libertarian anarchist argument that you get.
It's fair to me. Doesn't matter if you're a toe. It doesn't matter if you're a toe freaking mustache hair over or not. You're a citizen here. They're not. Vice versa. You should not have priority in getting jobs down there over their people.
I probably wouldn't. I can't even speak their language.
Well, you know what I'm saying. And that's the other thing, dude, is so many people here speak Spanish because, we are assimilating to them. That's not right. They need to assimilate to us. They need to learn our language. I don't got a problem with what people do in their home and they speak Spanish and all that stuff. Like, my fiance's, a lot of them, they speak Spanish. Now when I'm around, they speak Spanglish. They go back and forth, but it's all good. It's their home. That's fine. But when I go up to a freaking liquor store and I go get my soda and my cigarettes and this, that, and the other, the guy better not be asking me, "Hola, cómo estás?" with my white ass in that store.
Yeah, that is one of the things that pains me. I mean, I only consider myself half a racist. No, you can't ever say I'm not racist.
It's a culture thing.
I'm not racist, but no, when someone walks up to me, and granted, because I've been in fucking years of construction, I do know how to speak some Spanish and I can understand it. But when they walk up to you and start speaking to you in Spanish, like, bitch, I'm talking like this is the language that we're supposed to be speaking right now. Excuse me.
It's
And a lot of
it's not a
a lot of the
racist.
crazy radical Mexicans, they still believe that this land is theirs. By the way, the radicals.
Real land for $15 million, but whatever.
I'll take Mexican history for 600.
Yeah.
Well, and the hard part for me is living out here. I'm not used to that anymore. I mean, when I come out there to visit, it's like a huge culture shock to me because where I'm at, we don't have that shit. I mean, we have white and black people, and then we have some scattered Mexicans or Hispanics around, and then we do have a pretty large population of Indians because of Cerner that's out here that a lot of engineers will come over. But outside of that, I mean, I don't have the issues you guys talk about a lot of times, and that's so. Sometimes I even feel myself becoming a little bit out of touch with, probably the overall discussion just because I don't deal with it on a daily basis anymore.
And yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Is you're not really out of touch. There's only certain parts of the country that are really dealing with it.
Yeah. No, and that's the hard. I mean, that's what's.
I mean, if you look at the map, look what happened in the map. We're out of touch with the rest of the country.
So other than the far south, pretty much every southern state is dealing with it. And I mean, they make their way all the way up to Alaska now, I've heard. But it's like, all right, so we can keep complaining about this all we want, but there has to be kind of a solution, and I have one in my brain on how to maybe that we can fix this thing. Is so like, actually, yes, we do need to build a wall, we do need to protect our borders, but maybe have better work program visas for people that want to just come here for work. A good screening program.
Nope.
Like my buddy Ender said, make the walls higher, but make the gates bigger. I do have to show. I show compassion from time to time.
Well, and there used to be a lot back when Reagan was in. They used to have the day work passes, so kind of like the jails have and stuff, where you could come over across the border states and work, but you were only allowed to be here between like 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. And you had to be back on the other side of the border afterwards. And I mean, they've talked a lot about that in like the Texas area, New Mexico, where there's a lot of factories that could use the labor. I don't know if that works or how that would work or how you keep it from going the other way. But I think at the same time, law enforcement is so scared anymore to even do anything because of all the shit that's been going on that it'd be hard to really, hold people to it because you could, easily be called racist and be all over the national news for just pulling somebody over and arresting them if they're not supposed to be here.
Well, that's part of the problem. And kind of back to what Travis was saying about my solution would be build the wall and enforce the immigration policies we have. Period. Start with that. That's all we got to do. The problem is we are not enforcing our laws. Obama's and the left have overridden all that stuff. They've taken the power away from ICE agents. They've taken away the power away from the border agents to just look the other way. You can't confront these people. It's wrong. That's their job. That's what our tax dollars are going to pay them for. What the hell? We're sitting there just to sit them, paying them to watch with some binoculars and go, hey, look at that guy cross. Cool.
Well, an example.
It's a bunch of crap.
An example, my sister got T-boned on, I think it was Tuesday in Cyprus. And come to find out, after she gets hit, the guy's an illegal Mexican, has no insurance, anything. And they end up just letting the guy go. I mean, they didn't do anything to him. So, I don't know if you're here illegal, I think that's illegal. You don't have insurance. You don't get arrested for it. I don't know. To me, that seems to be an issue. And if that's kind of how they're treating it across the board out there, that's going to be a problem too.
Yeah. And what I was saying about,
but we'll pay for their medical if they get
visas. Hurt. No, fuck that. Visas. The biggest problem we have with visas now, there's like 40% of them that are expired, dude. They just disappeared. They're gone. They came here, they got their visa, they pretended like they were here, and then they never went back to finish, and they didn't show up. I think it's like every 2 years they got to go show up, or maybe even every year. I give a guy to work every day. Yeah. It's something like I give a guy a ride to work. He's here from Mexico on a visa program. Speaks perfect English, probably better than I do. He's working. He's doing his thing. He's on the visa program and he's going through his process. He's explaining to me, how it works. And he's got to go show up every, like 12 months or whatever. All he's got to do is show up. Hey, I'm here. I'm working. I'm doing my thing. And he's going through the process. It's taking a while. But he's the type of person we want here because he keeps going back and doing exactly what he's supposed to do. We know who he is. We know where he lives. Well, we don't know where he lives, but the government knows if, something happens, they got his thumbprint. They got his freaking file that's like this big. He's explaining to me, and he's going through it. And the problem is there's 40% of them that just walk on through and do the visa thing, and then they quit. Done, gone. And then they're ghosts. We have no idea where they're at. They're gone. Now they're legal. They're not following the steps.
Yeah,
and that's a huge part of the problem.
Who would go home? I wouldn't. I mean, fuck
I don't know.
you.
I wouldn't want to go work at that fireworks stand, that's for sure.
You ass.
I know, that's fucked up.
For those of you who don't know, there's a huge firework. I mean, the explosion like that had to be like a big warehouse or something.
Oh, it was, yeah.
In Mexico. Yeah, some shit went down. They got blown up by ISIS or something. A bunch of fireworks went off. No, probably we've seen that happen before with fireworks stands. I mean, if one of those things goes off in the warehouse, it has potential to light all of them. And you have to think about every single firework going up at once.
Was it an actual warehouse or a factory?
I think it was a factory.
Yeah. Oh, even better.
One of the two.
So you got
makes it
that's what I'm
worse.
talking about, dude. You're working down in Mexico. They don't have all those regulations and stuff, dude. And the dude was probably in the back smoking a joint and freaking. Oops.
There ain't no OSHA out there in Mexico.
Right.
In fact, it's the opposite. They encourage you to blow up shit. Just kidding. There will be no Tim. He had some kind of. He's at the hospital with a friend right now, so I don't think anything too serious. Hopefully not. But so tonight it's the majority report, as I like to call it. 3 white guys talking politics.
Bunch of racists.
Bunch of racist bastards.
Racist sons of bitches.
So yeah, Mexico's blowing up. We've got people on the left saying they wish they had an abortion before, and we have assassinations and people plowing over people with trucks. I mean, what the fuck is going on this week?
Yeah, Lynn and Dunham needed to be in the first in line in front of that truck. She should have went on the trip to Berlin.
No, better yet, on the roof of the firework warehouse. How about that?
Yeah, that chick
a little more intense.
That woman is just disgusting.
And,
straight up.
And admitted, molester herself because she is a victim of sexual assault, which tends to happen with sexual assault victims. They usually go on to, you do that kind of behavior that they were shown. That
got proven to be a false story for publicity and to make a political point.
Oh, her sexual assault case? So probably some guy didn't hold the door open for her at AM/PM is probably what happened.
Probably, and it turned into a rape case, and it turned out to be a big old thing. Miss abortion, white males. Yeah, exactly. And after like 6 months, it got proven to be false.
What is it? They just hate white males, and I know that sounds like fucking douchebag because we're all 3 white males, and if someone that was on the left was watching us, like, look at these motherfuckers. But they don't. I mean, I'm not saying that it's merited, but just to hate, like, they just want us to just stop talking. Pretty much, they want us to put us in a bag and close it up and have us never come out.
Liberalism is a fucking disease, man. It's a disease. It hasn't been nullified, or what do we want to call it? It hasn't been qualified yet, but it's a freaking disease. I mean, what was that other guy? The guy in Missouri, November 1st, that dude that freaking burnt down the church and put vote Trump on it to try and make it look like a freaking a white power thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That's on Mercury's Cast
Here,
Facebook page. Sorry, hold on real quick.
yeah.
Please go to Mercury's Cast on Facebook and hit the like button. Follow us at Mercury's Cast on Twitter. Please subscribe on iTunes and if you leave a comment, I will send you candy in the mail. Very particular. No, we got unicorn poop. That's what it's called. Look it up. You get some unicorn poop in the mail if you subscribe or leave a comment on iTunes. It matters a lot. Darren, I'm sorry to take the floor from you again, but go ahead.
No, I mean, you got this guy that burned down a church, put vote Trump and all this stuff. It was a black church, and then here we are 2 months later. The guy has been arrested, and it was a liberal black man that burnt down the church, and tried to make it look like it was a racist Trump supporter. And here you are, all these race claims and blah 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 with Trump supporters. There's been like 15 or 20 of them, dude, that have made the news that have now come back and been like, yeah, it was bogus, or yeah, it was this person.
I have created a term for this position, for this type of person, because we've seen it happen a lot of times. I call it a false hate prophet. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much what it is.
False hate prophet. Yeah. Because it's really like a false flag event, like our buddy Kurt likes to talk about. That is, that is one. That is a false flag event. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And all right, so there's a lot of stuff that I could just laugh off about politics, but this kind of stuff right here really fucking pisses me off. Like that gets to me to my core, because here I am, trying to fight the good fight and trying to bring people together, which is, I mean, ultimately my goal is just like so we could talk and bring everyone together and in these conversations for the podcast or whatever it is. I think that our country's too divided. If we want to get something done, we have to learn who the real enemy is, and it's not the citizens. So when I see this and I see somebody trying to purposefully divide and to create hate between each other, that is what really pisses me off. And this is the kind of shit that I don't fucking like. Anyways, that's my rant on that. We have a hard enough time getting along as it is. We don't need people to exacerbate, with false shit that's not even there. And there's this guy, Joey Salads on Facebook and on YouTube. Fuck you, Joey Salads. You're a part of this problem too. Making false videos, paying black people to do these outlandish things just so that to try and prove a point, which you shouldn't need to pay people to prove a point. If there's a point to be proven, you should be able to prove it on your own, you stupid piece of shit.
Is that the guy on the plane you're talking about?
That's the guy, Joey Salads. He always does these social experiments. That's what he calls them.
It's not his real name.
It's probably not his real name. I wouldn't, if I was doing shit like that, I wouldn't put my real name up either. Because if I knew where that guy lived, I'd probably throw a brick through his fucking house.
Exactly. Joey Salads sounds phony.
Yeah, that's not his name.
What about this? What about the airplane thing where the Arabic guys are getting kicked off because of speaking Arabic on the plane? Did you see that?
I saw that. I heard a soundbite. I don't really know.
Well, come to find out, this is like the 6th time he's done it, and he goes on and he starts shit on purpose to try and get people uncomfortable, and then when they complain, he gets kicked off and he throws a big fit.
You know what it is? It's that they're tugging on people's emotional strings. Like,
yeah,
people are compassionate. We're humans by nature are compassionate. We want to help people. We want the best for the better good. And when you start tugging on those strings, and when it's false, I mean that liberalism takes that idea to the whole crazy extreme. Whereas conservatives are kind of like, we need to look out kind of for what's good for us, and liberals are like, let's just fucking help everyone.
Yeah.
And so when you're tugging on the heartstrings of people like that, it does have an effect. It could be, and then it turns into clickbait on Facebook. Someone will just repost and then look at the racism, or racist America, and then it's like,
Marxism.
It just sets us back. It sets us back, is what I feel that it does. It sets us socially back, culturally back.
It's Marxism.
It's a mental illness.
Well, it's a mental illness to the standard everyday Joe society, but to these people up at the top, like I mentioned earlier, the Pelosi's, the Obamas, the freaking Clintons, all that stuff, they know exactly what they're doing. They're using Marxist tactics the same way Hitler did, and that's what they're trying to do for full control. Now, most average everyday Joes, like I said, they think they're a Democrat just because they've been taught that and their mom and dad voted that and blah, 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 and they never figured it out for themselves. They just go down there and pull the lever for the D. They don't understand it. Where these people at the top, they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to undermine the Constitution. They're trying to circumvent everything for power. And they're close. They were close. Well, hopefully Trump gets in there and unravels a whole bunch of shit. Sure sounds like he's going to do it. I hope he does. But they're chasing for power, man. You start weeding away certain little things, and the next thing you know, 30 years later, you got a dictatorship, and you're in control by Democrats. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to chip away at it.
Well, they're going to have 4 more years of Trump and 2 more years at least of the Republicans doing whatever they want to do.
They're going to have more than that. They're going to the midterms coming up, dude. I was doing some searching the other day. The Republicans have like 8 seats that are coming up for office, and the Democrats have like 25 or 28. So all we need to do is win two seats, and then we have the super filibuster-proof majority, and it's done.
Darren, did you catch
that?
They're
not going to lose.
Did you catch that article on Mercury's Cast Facebook? The 10 things of Obama. His 10 mistakes that he made. It was pretty good.
Only 10?
Oh, it was only 10. Anyways, go check that out if you're bored.
I've probably. Where is the source from?
Breitbart, I believe.
Yeah, I probably read it.
But what they failed to mention to me, and I feel like this is an important issue, is the NDAA and how much he was obsessed with spying on the American public, even after John Snowden. I don't know if I should call him Jonathan or John. There's a Jonathan Snowden on Twitter. He's an MMA high reporter. I think it's John. Do you guys call him John Snowden? Or is it Jonathan?
Who?
Snowden.
Thought his name was Eric.
Oh, fuck.
I've heard John Snowden.
Maybe. Here, I got my computer rocking right now. I forget his name. I just know Snowden.
All right, you'll be our fact checker for the next 10 minutes. So even after all the Snowden came out, and then they passed one of them passed a ban on that stuff, and then a couple months later they passed a referendum, and then they passed a ban, and then it was like a referendum. It's like he was definitely obsessed with spying on the American people.
That was close.
And
it's Edward Snowden.
There it is, yeah.
Fuck. We're all wrong.
We're
all right,
way off,
huh?
Samsonite.
Yeah.
Oh, I was way off. Anyways, that to me was, talk about liberty, talk about having personal freedom. And a lot of people would argue, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, then why are you worried about fuck you. This is my private life. This is why we're America.
It's not my problem it's not your problem if I'm doing anything wrong. Only until it hurts somebody is it your problem.
Yeah.
Correct.
If I want to look at big booty porn, I don't want you to know that I'm looking at big booty porn. I mean, good Lord. Well, so there was an ambassador assassinated. Did you pull up? Oh, it was Jonathan Snowden.
Edward.
I can't get this Jonathan Snowden out of my head.
It's hot as fuck. I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt.
he's a lead staff writer for a huge MMA website, and that's another thing that I do. I'm part. I do work for a website called MMAformoney.com. It's an MMA gambling website. I'm very much invested in the MMA world, and if you're interested in making money off of the sport of MMA, go to MMAformoney.com, and we'll have a Periscope coming up this week where we're going to have a giveaway, secret giveaway. We're not telling you yet, but it's very exciting. It's it's tremendous. Oh, Melania. Anyways, there was a Russian ambassador, Andrei Karlov. He was attending an art gallery opening speech at the capital of Turkey. He was a Russian ambassador at the capital of Turkey, which is Ankara. The dude that killed him was apparently a radical Islam member. He did say, "We die in Aleppo, you die here." And he was there to die. He actually was not even on duty, but he used his ID to get in there for the speech at the opening of the gallery or whatever. His
Got by
name's
security.
Yeah, he used his pass. Malut Mert Altadintas. Whatever. I'm not sure we know. Does anybody know any more about him? I'm not sure we know where he's from or anything like that. And some people were claiming false flag, but
Oh, where the heck was that? I saw it. I forget what it was. It didn't
anyways,
really
Turkey,
matter. He was an Islamist and freaking worked for the Turkey government and used it and straight up assassinated that guy.
yeah, he emptied a whole clip. And let's not forget about what happened, about a year ago when Turkey shot down the Russian plane too near the Syrian border when they were flying in an area where they're not supposed to. I think
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember when it happened, but now that you mention it, yeah, I totally remember that.
Yep, probably not connected, but it's certainly interesting to throw that in the same pile. Kind of ramped up the conflict.
Oh, I'm sure it's connected. Them boys, Russia's trying to do some shit, and he's in a position to do it.
So, yep. Russia is concerned over the brutal advances that Turkey is making backing the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. So pretty much Turkey is in bed with the president of Syria too. So this is all this is just not. Russia kind of has a reason to be pissed. I mean, wouldn't you?
I think Turkey's backing the rebels.
No, he backs the Syrian president. Yep.
For all I know is Turkey's a NATO country, and Russia's trying to expand, and he's in the perfect position to do it. And he's an ex-KGB agent, and he knows Obama is a foil. And we, instead of holding the red lines in Syria and sticking to them and keeping the no-fly zones and all that stuff, where Russia came in, Iran came in to both Iraq and Syria and all that stuff and got themselves involved, this would not be where we're at right now. And Russia's trying to make moves for control because now he's got an ally with Assad, now he's got an ally with Iran, and he's parked in the Middle East right now. And who's going to tell him no? Guess who he gets to run to guess who the United States has to go run to when they need an ally to go in there and fight ISIS? Russia.
But
It sucks, but that's what's going to have to happen.
I've also read a couple stories that like the CIA was funding one side of the conflict in Syria, and then the FBI was like funding another side, or the arms were getting just. It was like what was happening was a complete conflict of interest for what we were trying to do there, and funding kind of both sides of the war. Which, in my eyes, it makes perfect sense because that's how the economy. I mean, how much money gets spent on defense in America, and you know, the conflict is a good thing for them shelling out money to all these huge defense companies that get crazy amounts of money from the government.
Well, the budget's not really the problem. It's how it's being spent. They put up all these contracts and yada, 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 and the government's going to do this, government's going to do that. And here they skim off the top and put it elsewhere than where it's supposed to go. It's a bunch of shit. I don't like it. They're crooked. They're crooked as fuck.
I wish I had that article handy. I would read the whole thing. It was actually a Vice News story. Chad, you got anything to say? You think we're headed for World War III because of this damn assassination?
I don't know enough about it to really comment. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if we're less interventionist and become a little bit more passive and pull some of our money out from some of these countries we support, we'll have a lot less issues. But obviously, we're trying to control their banks, we're trying to control their oil. So at the end of the day, we're going to have issues no matter what until we fix that shit. So, but other among all the details that you just talked about, I don't know much about it just because I haven't really been following it the last couple of weeks or a month or so.
Well, it seems like Putin is being pretty reasonable about it right now, unless he's just using this time of being called reasonable and just mobilizing fucking hundreds of thousands of troops, getting ready to attack Turkey, which is a member of NATO, which would involve the U.S. at that point.
Well, you got the NATO countries rolling up on Russia's western border too. That's what's keeping them.
Yeah, I remember when Turkey had shot the Russian plane down. That doing some research that Turkey and the U.S. are allies, and it would mean something for us if that happened with Turkey. And I mean, let's all be reasonable here. We do not want a direct conflict with Russia, no matter if it's through NATO, Turkey, chicken, anything. I mean,
we'd take them out.
We would, but I mean, they got China on their side. Are you sure about that?
Yep. You got to remember, Russia's economy and their sustainability is slim to none. Walmart.
Yeah, because they spend all their money on their fucking military. So does China.
Right. And they can't sustain it. Walmart has a bigger profit than Russia's entire GDP. Their whole country.
It's still, we do not want a war with Russia and China. I mean, we don't want that.
China ain't going to do shit.
Well, I hope not. I mean, what if a billion people showed up and fucking on the West Coast? It'd be worse than the Mexican invasion.
They're going to have 150 million guys like me to get through that are armed.
Not in California. They came in through
That's where I live.
Yep. Anybody hear anything about the Facebook censorship?
Oh, yeah, I actually checked it out the other day. I haven't really heard too much about it, but I actually tried to search around and see what's up. And I went to go, I right-click something or whatever, and the option was up to report as fake news.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So I guess they actually are doing it. I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't report anything, but it's funny how these dictating bastards think we're too stupid and they have to be the authority to think for us.
Well, and what's funny is a lot of satire is getting reported out, what I've heard so far. So I don't know how they're going to alleviate that because there's so many satire sites out there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna anything I see on freaking New York Times or CNN or something like that, I'm just gonna report it because it's all bullshit. You cannot even from Fox, dude. It's all shit.
Well, George Soros owns Fox too.
Man, fucking guys.
So
That bastard. So Fox is a subsidiary of not Clear Channel. There's like six main, for people that don't know, there's like 6 or 7 or 8 main media conglomerates that own every single major media company in the whole of America. It's like Clear Channel, Disney, Viacom, News Corp. I don't know. There's a couple of them.
yeah, I think George Soros owns like all 6 or 7 of them.
He owns all of them, and then like a couple more, probably.
Yeah, no, that's why I've never really been a huge fan of Fox either, because at the end of the day, that's just giving everybody else something to cling on to, when really it's all bullshit too.
Klingon. Yeah, Star Trek. Watch out. Well, I think we're a little over an hour now. I think it's a good time to wind this one down. Everyone, what are you guys doing for Christmas?
I'll
tell you what.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not going to visit my parents because there's a storm coming in, and as you guys know, I live in Bakersfield now.
That's a long, shitty drive in the rain.
Well, not only that, we can get stuck there because they close the Grapevine down. Then you got to go around, and hopefully they don't close the 50-8.
Oh,
so
that's right, Grapevine.
And so for our kids and stuff, we're just gonna stay back because there's a storm coming for sure.
Yeah,
we're gonna get some rain, and the mountains are gonna get snow, and it's gonna be fucked up. I'm kind of disappointed. It's the first Christmas Eve I won't be spending with my parents. I'm not gonna get my dad's tomato-based seafood soup, which is just it's famous for a reason. Put it that way. I'm kind of bummed out about it. I got to figure out something to do on Christmas Eve. Maybe I'll just go by myself somewhere for the night. Actually, I got some work to do for the MMA website, but I'll probably end up doing some work like that. So I'm not going to get to see them. But Christmas morning, we're going to open presents here. You got to have the kids at your house for Christmas morning. It's like I wouldn't mind going to my parents' house, having Christmas morning there and being able to stay there. But the wife wants to go there, so we'll do it. But then I did a disclaimer: if this shit happens again, then we're going down early and we're having Christmas morning at my parents' house, because Christmas Eve is a big deal for my family. It always has been. We're an Italian family. Christmas Eve is a big deal.
Yeah.
To put it lightly. So
for the Italians,
we're gonna have Christmas morning here. I'm sorry, Darren. We're gonna have Christmas morning here. Then what we did last year, we made some sack lunches and then handed them out to the homeless out here, which in the poor area, there's a lot. It's like L.A. For some reason, I don't know why they flock here, but they do. And so we make some sack lunches. We go hand out some stuff for them, some water, some hygiene kits and stuff like that. But I never posted it on Facebook because I don't have to do something nice for somebody else and then have my own gratification through social media. I didn't. Maybe I'll post it this year. I don't know. I didn't feel. I kind of was thinking about it. I'm like, well, this feels gross. Like, why? why am I posting on social media that this good deed that I'm doing? But it's going to seem like I did it just to post it on the social media so everyone knows that I'm a good person or some bullshit, I'm like, no, this is no. So I didn't post anything, but we'll do that, and then Christmas morning will come, or Christmas dinner, honey baked ham at the in-laws. They kidnapped me. Oh, they really did. I'm just kidding. Because my wife's parents live out. My wife's family's out here. We came out here for other reasons. I'll break it down another time. Anyways, Darren, how do you envision your Christmas going?
I have no kids. I'm not officially married yet. My nieces and nephews are all 12 to frickin' 20. So, yeah, not much Christmas going on. I mean, we'll probably have dinner over at mom and dad's house and do the whole family thing for a couple hours. But Christmas isn't as big as it was years ago. Everybody's
Yep.
grown up and spread out, and you got little ones. I don't. So,
Oh, that makes me a little sad.
no, it's all good, dude. You can have them, bro. I'm just trying to practice. Maybe
Take
one
some
day.
pointers.
We're not married yet, and I don't know. We've talked about it. We'll see what happens.
They're coming. It's coming, bro. It is
Maybe
coming.
we see eye to eye on it. We're see what position we're
Well,
in. I got a few things to finish. She's got a few things to finish before we're actually gonna start doing that end of it, because we both refuse to raise kids in California.
oh,
So
yeah. I can't really blame you. Chad, how many kids do you have, by the way? Because you said we started popping out kids or whatever you said,
Yeah.
like a gumball machine.
Yeah, babies popping out vaginas all over the place. Yeah, we've got pop, pop, pop. We've got 3 right now. Another one might be coming pretty soon. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but we'll
Oh,
see. Yeah, so right now we've got 10, 8, and 5 is what I've got. So
10, 8, and 5. Wow. I
yeah,
can't
trying to
even
stay warm
imagine.
in the winter.
yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, my wife is definitely pregnant again. I haven't told anyone yet, but she's definitely pregnant.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah. So if you made it this far, if you made it this far and you're my friend on Facebook, other than you two, you can go ahead and blast that shit. It's a good social experiment.
Yeah,
No,
no, it's
I meant to say it in the beginning a couple times, but I don't know. It's just this shit's not really planned out.
yeah, exactly.
Probably should be better planned out.
I don't know. Kids are easy. I don't see them as hard like some people do. I'm definitely with Darren. Once we start having the kids, we didn't want to live in California anymore. That's why we started looking at other places and landed here. So
The school system and all that shit out here is fucking.
Dude, bro. Yeah, we weren't. Bakersfield's actually not that bad, but the public schools and even Cyprus, they were closing down fucking elementary schools left and right in Cyprus. Like, where are these kids gonna go to school at?
well, there's no kids in
What the
Cyprus.
fuck?
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
all
mean
retired people.
I mean here, I don't know. Even when we were kids, I don't know. We didn't have all the shit that my kids have here. I mean, they've got a separate teacher for PE, a separate teacher for music, separate teacher for computers. I mean, they've got everything you can think of. Go on 4 or 5 field trips a year, doing all kinds of different shit. I'm like, man, I wish I had school like that when I was a kid. We had one teacher and they did everything, and they were a fucking bitch all the time because they never got rid of us.
Yeah, he was your
Wow.
basketball coach, the lunch, security guard.
Yeah, they worked the lunchroom, all that kind of stuff. So
He was the secretary and also the parking lot coordinator.
but we live out in the country a little bit too, so they have 4-H at the school they offer and shit like that. So I mean, it's fun. I like it. I mean, that's one of the things we really love about here is that you've got a little bit of everything. So it's definitely nice. It's when you have the little ones to have all that stuff.
Yeah, I hate to say it, California is going down the fucking shitter.
Well, I
really
mean,
is.
think about Cyprus when we. I mean, did you live in Cyprus or didn't you live like in Buena Park or something?
Tanglewood, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, because in Cyprus, remember they used to
I'm
have
in
all the
Buena Park.
strawberry fields and all that shit. I mean, when we were kids, it was open. I would say it feels like that here a lot of times, where you have all the open space where there's animals and shit like that. So they learn a little bit more about where their food comes from and all that stuff, which is, I don't know. I think that's all good for them to learn.
Yeah, to go out in the backyard and go run around the lot and freaking throw shit and break things and learn from their lessons. I would love it.
Yeah,
Just can't do.
I've got a cornfield behind my house. I mean, there's nothing
Yeah,
behind me.
What? You ever go steal some
awesome.
corn?
Oh yeah, the first 5 rows for the neighbors.
Really?
Yeah.
I got a lot of shit out here too. I have yet. Actually, we've gone to farmers markets a couple times. I mean, Bakersfield's a farm town.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well, Bakerfield is probably the
Oh, yeah.
closest thing to what we have, except ours is probably a little bit nicer from what I remember in Bakersfield. We don't have the homeless and stuff because it's so cold. I mean, you lose all that because of it.
so what are you trying to say about Bakersfield?
Well, you know, I think you got my hint.
It's warmer than Kansas.
Yeah, it's warmer than Kansas. No, but I mean that's one thing you don't get here. You don't get a lot of the homeless and all that because it's just too damn cold. They can't.
You know, I will say
survive.
about the Bakersfield is that like 80% of people are conservative out here. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's for some reason it's a little more comforting being a white male and living in an 80% conservative town. I don't know. You guys do the math. I'm not Albert Einstein here, but it feels a little
Well, what's
more.
funny? It's funny here. You get conservative liberals. I would say your most middle of the road people are here because they've got that. They've grown up with the hunting and the gun rights, hunting and fishing rights. You know, kind of the country lifestyle mixed with people who are trying to accept all the social things. So it's probably it's to me it's a weird dynamic because you have a lot of people who are so worried about trying not to offend people, but then they still enjoy all those other parts that most conservatives enjoy. You know the jeeps, the hunting, the fishing, being able to do whatever you want freely, but then at the same time, let's try not to offend people. So it's kind of a funny deal I've noticed out here in the last couple of years.
Excellent. Well, I think we'll be drawn to a conclusion. Darren, does this mic sound good to you? Does it sound better than or do you not notice?
I think it sounds a little better. You're a little bit more crisp. You're not any louder. You're not any lower. But you're. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little bit more of a
Cool.
crisp
Yeah.
sound.
That's what I felt like too when I listened back. I actually did a small 10-minute rant yesterday on YouTube. If you go to Asher Loves You on YouTube, that is that's where all the videos are posted. But in closing, anyone want to? How about a shout out to Old Saint Nick on this Santa Claus week?
Oh yeah, everybody, Merry Christmas. That's for sure.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, and happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends.
Jewish friends, yeah, they're important. You can't talk bad about them. You'll be blackballed. Just, just kidding. Just kidding.
Hey man, they got our back. I got their back. It's all good, man. They ain't hurting nobody. They ain't never hurt me, so
Well,
all right.
I think the people in Palestine would have something to say about that, there, sir.
Yeah, fuck those Palestinians.
That's a whole other discussion. We can have that one another time, maybe next week, when we have our New Year's edition of Mercury's Cast. Oh, let me give a shout out to the dozen people in France and then the dozen people in Ireland that listen somehow. Shout out to you, motherfuckers, because that just makes me giddy inside when I see downloads from France and Ireland. I'm just like, whoa, all right, I guess.
It's awesome.
Yeah. That makes me happy. I mean, I'm not saying that we're a huge success or anything, but when I see those consistent downloads, I'm like, all right, dude, I want to have a beer or a coffee with one of you guys.
I talked to a couple of dudes in Ireland on my ham radio once in a while.
Oh
Not
my,
this one.
that might be it, dude. Did you tell them about it?
Nope.
No? Damn.
No, this is my little
They
handheld.
might have
But I
figured
don't.
it out though. Hey, they got Conor McGregor. They're smart. Okay. Does that mean the heart is a motherfucker radio?
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Nah, not this one. This one you can't really go overseas with. It's got about 100 miles range on it. But my one of my Jeep, that thing will go all over the damn place.
They might have figured it out though. They might have
Hey,
because they started popping up. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna do another one next week. We got to get another one out for the new year, and then next year, I don't know, big stuff. I got some guests lined up, some pretty interesting. And
Wow.
anybody else got anything to say in closing?
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Everybody be
Yeah.
safe.
And Merry Christmas,
Don't drink and
everybody.
drive.
Hey, from
I'm all about having
Bakersfield
fun, but don't drink and drive.
to California to Buena Park, triangulating through one singular point. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Go technology. Go America. That's what it's
America.
about. All right, this has been Mercury's Cast, and you guys don't have to hang up now, but I'm going to end the broadcast. See you later.